stability is when the wagon is running on the straight lines and the curves. And also such kind of design can reduce the unsprung weight of the bodies so as to reduce the vertical force between the rail and the wheels. And also the second is two rigidity spring. Here we use two rigidity springs to reduce the damping devices, abrasion, and improve the dynamic reliability and the stabilities of the wagons. Number 3 is we use constant contact, double action elastic side bearings to limit the side rolling of the wagon body and improve the running stability of the wagons. So all these parts we used is for long life parts, which can reduce the maintenance and repairing circles for the wagons. Here is the main performance and the data. You see the railway gauge, meter gauge, 1.67, and axle load, 20 tons. Maximum design speed is 100 kilometers per hour, and the tail weight 3.8 tons. And fixed wheelbase and the center plate height is also.
Thank you, Chair. I also thank the presenter for the presentation. At Tazara, we have a challenge of wagon carrier which was explained there. But when I seen the capacity which was explained there is almost the same like Tazara, 50 tons.
Yes.
Now, if we load our container, which they are currently most of businessmen, they are bringing container on 28 tons, one 20-feet container. So if you combine two container, you will have a total of 56 container, which means that such kind of wagon carrier does not be fit for us to carry two containers.
Excuse me, because I'm just the commercial manager, so we also got the chief engineer, Mr. Liu, who can answer your questions. Sir, so Mr. Liu answered that this is just a basic design for our flat wagons. You see, our flat wagon is designed for 20, the axle load for the flat wagon is 20 tons. That means one flat wagon the total weight can reach 80 tons. But the flat wagon is just around 20 tons. So that means the loading capacity, we have enough space to load up to 60 tons. So that's not a problem. When we design such kind of wagons, we will focus on the structure, on the structure design to guarantee once you loaded 56 or even you loaded 60 tons, the wagon will be running smoothly without any quality problems.
Design, I know you can design like you were saying the axle is 20.
Yeah.
So we're expecting it to something like 80. Yeah. But what are the considerations of the braking system? case of overloading, because the design maximum loading is 50. And in case I overload it to 70 tons, what are the consequences on the braking system?
To answer these questions, that in case it is overloaded, you have to tell us earlier, because all these wagons, including brake system and the structures, was designed strictly as per your requirements. If you want to overload it, take the example, the flat wagon may be loaded 50 tons. If you wanted to load it to 60 tons, you have to inform us before we design this kind of wagons, so that we can, when we design, we will consider all the conditions, including the loading and the overloading. All the conditions will be considered, so that the braking systems, bogie, and the wagon structures can be designed to satisfy all your requirements. This will not be a problem. Thank you.
And now, a question from myself. Yes. I wanted to know your bearing system. Because the entire tonnage which we are expecting to haul by using that wagon is going to rest on the bearing system. Now, how is your bearing system designed? What kind of bearing which you are using?
So, as per Mr. Liu's suggestion, this wagon was, the axle load is 20 tons. According to the AAR standard, 20-ton axle load use Class D bearings. So Class D bearings, the brand, normally we use on our wagons just 3. The first one is SKF, the second one is FAG, and the third one is Timken. We only use these 3 brands. Or we can follow your suggestions if you any brand you want.
Thank you very much. You have answered what I wanted.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The last question, what is your lifespan for your wagons?
What's up?
Lifespan.
How long this one can use?
Yes.
So normally the life for the wagons is 25 years to 30 years. This depends on the roads and how you use and operation, maintenance, and repairing. Thank you.
Afternoon, David. I'm a member of Tazara in attendance. I'm very glad that Tazara management is defending Masindiko company interest. But let me put a short brief. The purpose of this meeting, of this presentation today, of Masindiko company pulling the whole team sitting with us here, is Masindiko company is vying to seek approval from Tazara to operate on train freight. Those train freights will operate within Tazara. As earlier I said, they will also go straight to link with DRC or SNCC, and we have a good meeting as well with the other part, Zambia. They might be going up to Lusaka. But how are we going to start? It's through Tazara. So we are expecting of all this team of Mark and Masindiko company making all this vast presentation is for the Tazara management to give us approval to bring this equipment here, to operate our own freight train through Tazara line. Of course, there are some modalities of operations. I earlier said there are some different ways of agreeing. Tazara may say, now you are coming to operate with massive equipment. It implies that we are going to die. That's not the case. We are supplemented to Tazara. And I said, on the ongoing discussions which will follow after this, and I must assure all the members from Tazara, our basis of the plan until where we are now will be using Tazara tariff. We are not going to have our own tariff. No. We'll use the current Tazara tariff. If Tazara tariff comes down, definitely we'll also operate within the same line. Now, I just heard that when we are thinking, drawing on the coming negotiations, that at least 4% of every ton we charge, based on Tazara tariff, it will be directly going to Tazara Bank on the same day when the invoice is raised. It's not going to stay in our account. That's not our principle. I have my team here. I watch, of course, the IT team, which they are very experienced. We develop the mechanism, the IT modality, how the charging is going to be. What prompted me to intervene at this stage? There is a good question comes from Tazara management, saying, assuming we overload, the answer is here already. I think before going and asking about the technicality or the G of the wagons, this answer which my friend asked is very important. Transport industry nowadays is suffering a lot because of unfaithful cargo owner. You are given a container, let's say a 40-ton box. A good customer says, I'm having only 20 tons in the box. We'll be transporting that 20 tons by charging 20 tons. But in the reality, we're having extra 30 tons in the box. So, this answer is coming from our own technology we have developed, MIT. And I will request Mr. Thompson to come forward to demonstrate. Let me stand up, because this is a very sensitive issue. Tazara will eventually also benefit out of this plan. We are thinking, not thinking, we are ready. If you tell me ultimately, Mr. Shah, go ahead, bring the equipment. We'll bring the equipment within the shortest of time. I will sign agreement with the team. I've already nominated my supplier of all this aspect. Within 2 years, Tazara will be at the top class. So let me answer this question to shorten our time as well, about how are we going to control the overloading. Manufacturer cannot control the overloading. The one who controls the overloading is the transporter. And the other side is the Tazara. But Masindiko company as well, if you give me access, I will also control the overloading. How should I control this overloading for the interest of the Tazara, including Masindiko as well? The issue here is, it's not only that I am maintaining the revenue, also the track. Overloading has its own side effect on the tracking system. So we have embarked assured of the Tazara management and the plan. We have a target to put about 8 small-scale weighing machines, which Mr. Thompson will give some presentation so that we can have a good idea what is going on. Mr. Thompson, please, take a seat.
Thank you, Joseph. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Tazara team, for spending time with us. This is the first time I'm coming to Tanzania and to Africa. My colleagues have been there in Africa many times. I can say that I should appreciate Mr. Joseph for his commitment and bringing everybody here without any firm commitment from the company. You know, he's able to bring us all together here. One of all the best companies, international companies here. I think it's all because of Mr. Joseph's dedication. And I was asking him, asking him and other guys about Tanzania, and they said that Tanzania people are very good, very friendly, very transparent. So we are here to do business with you guys, and we are happy because I think we are all open to good technologies. We appreciate good technologies, and we pay for the technologies. So I appreciate Mr. Joseph once again for his dedication, and I appreciate him for bringing everybody without any commitment. That's great. You know, Chinese guys, the 4 of them come all the way from China, and he has come from US, and we are all a big team from India. Thank you. So I think we'll make business ultimately. So SA Digitronics company, we are a 25-year-old company. We are specialized in weighing systems. Our systems are high-end technologies, very simple systems. We give just a functional systems, and we give the latest technologies. I have been to many countries. I know all the technologies available in the world. We have different technologies, but for Tanzania, I think we are giving a system which is one of the latest kind of a technology, and you don't have to depend on anybody. You don't have to depend on us. You can maintain yourself. We give you all the spare parts, we give you all the technology, we give you all the software to you, and you don't have to spend more money in calling our engineers again and again for any kind of a problem. I think that is the best way you should operate it, and that is the best way I think any company should do it. So my company has got different technologies know-how from major companies like Terakosika of Japan. We have technology transfer and know-how from them. We also have technology from Barry & Company UK. We also have technology from Commo Systems USA. So we are a global company. We have the best technologies. And what I suggest is, for your rail systems, we supply you 2 rails with 4 sensors. Of course, I'll do the presentation, a very simple presentation. Everybody can understand easily. And it is a very simple system, 2 rails, 1 junction box, and 1 indicator and 1 software. That's it. We're not going to give you anything more than that. This is a web-based one. You can install it anywhere. You're sitting here, you can see all the payments done in different places. It can be web-based, it can be internet connected. You can see all the payments happening, you can be sure of what is happening. It is completely tamper-proof, and it is easily replaceable and easy to operate. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to show a small video of a company, and then I'll try to go to my product details. And if you have any questions, please stop me and I can answer you. With our weighing systems, it will be more accurate. and you'll not have a problem, but you should calibrate it properly. You should know the method of calibration. That's number one. And for this kind of systems, the levels are very important. If you're able to make good levels, at least for 50 meters on either side, maybe 1:400 or less than that, I think you will get good accuracies. But you should also know how to use it, what kind of a limitation it is, and where it is used. I think definitely it will serve your purpose. Yeah. Yeah. We see, as I said. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, our system is very simple. You know, if you see globally the technology is available, like you have big platform scales, you have slipper-based scales, you have rail bonded scales, you have sensors which can fix it into the rails. But I feel for you to start with this kind of system is one of the best systems. If you want us to help you out, if you have any problems in your system, you please send us some photographs or videos, or you can send us, we can see how it is, and you can also send me the levels, the straight line, things like that. I will send you a questionnaire. You send me all these details, and I can suggest you what is the best solution for you.
Where you are way now, is it on rails, or are you talking about
Platform.
fixed platform where you need to wait?
How are you doing? What kind of system you have?
Here's
Probably the ones I'm talking about is those from the rollers, not on the water.
It's not on the right side.
That's why when you on that presentation, one of the presentations, as you are floating you are discharging the product from
Oh, okay.
those-
That's the loading system.
Exactly. So on the rollers there, you have the sensors, and then those sensors they are sent through the cables to the control system of
Yes.
the auto panel.
Yes.
They are able to check that discharge of the ballast as it passes. It's able to.
So there are different, I think, see, when I show the video, there are different products. One is the loading system. The loading system, there it pre-weighs. It weighs and then discharges the quantity required. You know, you set the quantity like a 170 ton in each wagon. It weighs, it is a static, it is not in motion. It is a loading system, that's a different technology. We are not supposed to sell this technology in Africa, because my US counterpart will direct, he has got a lot of installation in South Africa. But what we can do is we can sell these in-motion scales. After you load it manually, you run through our machine, you get the weights. Did I answer you? Okay, I have my email ID. If you have any other questions, you can write to me and I'll be happy to answer it. So you guys are going to buy our system? Maybe Joseph will tell me later.
Thank you very much for the presentation. May I this time propose that we break for lunch for about 1 hour?
You go without lunch?
Sorry?
You have a you go without lunch?
Gentlemen, can we go without lunch?
No, we can go, but whether they can go. But they are.
No, but we are invited for the lunch. We are invited for.
Assumptions. Maybe we can proceed with this presentation.
Acting MD, on behalf of my colleagues, may I first of all extend our appreciation for the very best lunch you offered to us. We are not expecting the lunch today, but with the hospitality of Tazara management, really we feel at home. And we are ready to continue for our presentation. To start with our presentation, and or the earlier meetings we had, we were being asked a very good question. Masindiko company is going to bring the equipment, very massive one. How are you going to manage the freight? How you are going to take care of the freight after Dar es Salaam? Are you going to bring all the wagons, putting them in the siding of Tazara here? I told them, not at all. We have a plan. I said, which plan? Honestly, I told him it will be revealed during the presentation. Well, my friends who were in the meeting that day, just mention a little bit. I said, once I mention, you give me much more a task to ask me a lot of questions because you have already known my plan. But I told him, I already made a plan, and the plan is after getting Tazara approval to submit our proposal, we had already consulted the government regarding our vision and mission of the condensing Dar es Salaam port, and also for the Tazara to benefit out of our project. Therefore, the next stage, the government gave us a good allocation of land at Songo region. Initially, it was to be there, but the government, knowing very well the importance of this project to the national economy, not only to Tanzania, but to the landlocked countries as well, they tell us any amount of land you need for the installation or construction of dry port, it will be allocated. We have them in writing. It will be within our attachment of the proposal. The project will be known as the Songo International Inland Terminal. I must be very proud, and my colleagues from India who are the experts for designing, including our locomotives here, they will demonstrate before Tazara management, at least Tazara management to know that doing freight, including Tazara themselves, the second of freight, which is going to be NRC, it will no longer be staying in the port, it will go straight to the dry port. Tazara will also use that facility as an inland terminal or rather a dry port. So, may I request my fellow engineer Sonu Bhatia, to present the architect's atlas for the Tazara to test the dry port version before going to the other logistics. Please, you're welcome, Mr. Sonu.
Thank you, Joseph. Good afternoon, Tanzania. Good afternoon, Tazara. I think so we had a very good lunch, and this is going to be the most challenging presentation. We saw the wagons, and we also saw the safety systems. So it was like a marriage procession. It's like a marriage procession. But the idea is, where will the bride and groom house? And that is where we are going to go now. And that's somewhere. Right, Joseph? Yes. That's exactly where the bride and groom will stay. And that is where the cargo will come in. Right? I think the whole idea of this project is evolution of the port in the world. The ports developed for handling cargo for the city or the country. And all of a sudden you see, over the period of time, this port is developing a city. The city develops in such an extent that the port becomes condition for the city itself. The city which was developed because of the port, city starts talking about bottlenecks in the city because of the port. The reason is, when we start port, we think we have to do everything inside the port. slowly we realize that there are many activities which can be taken outside the port. Port is only a transit place to operate vessels. Simple. Ports which have been strategized to use as a transit place are the most efficient port. And that is where you see the turnaround of the ships as the best. And every port has a KPI. It's single. The turnaround time of the ships, it has to be minimum. How do you achieve this turnaround time? By taking a lot of activities from the port to the area outside, which is actually not required to be done in the port inside. And that's the whole concept here. It's dry port because it is landlocked, but it's going to be the extended arm of your port. It's going to be the extended arm of your port. Every activity, including examination, including custom clearance, can be done at the dry port, and when the cargo reaches to the port, it's meant only for loading inside the ships. Simple. And that is how you can decongest the port. Yes, there are various ways to do it. You can see many CFS mushrooming close to the airports, which take away a lot of burden from the ports. But the question is, even these CFS will end up into having a lot of trucks going up at the gates of the port, again congesting the city. So what is the solution? The solution is, you need to move in big parcels directly inside the terminal, and that is possible only with the rail movement. And therefore those CFS and ICDs, dry ports, which are equipped with the rail terminals, are the best extended arms of the seaport. And that is what we are going to talk today about. We are focusing Dar es Salaam as the gateway port for the dry port which we have conceived. So for us, or as Tazara, the focus is to join hands with Dar es Salaam port to ensure that we support them to decongest the port itself. And that's the whole idea. Right? I'm going to represent two companies. Number one, what you see now is going to be the design of the facility in itself at Songhay. We will see how we do that, but before we do that, you need to understand what we are and why we should be doing this job. Why should you be entrusting that job to us? So we will go through that presentation. Once you have the terminal up and ready for running, you need a good operator to run the terminal in itself. So I have a second presentation, which is my another company, Theme Logistics. This is Zenith Business Solution, and the second company is Theme Logistics. Because we ourselves have developed dry port in India, we ourselves are being operating dry ports in India. So it's not only the design and the execution of constructing a dry port, but also running the dry port. But this is the best model because one who is the developer, if he himself is the user of that capacity, that can be the best option available, right? Because many times what we see is somebody comes and develops and somebody else comes and operates it, and he finds out a lot of glitches in the basic design of the terminal itself. A very basic postage, there is always a mix of cargo. It can be container, it can be liquid, it can be dry bulk, it can be break bulk, and that is why we have 17 types of wagons. The question is how we put all them together and how do we operate the dry port with such type of complexity. If the thought process has not gone into it at the concept stage and the real master plan is not with us, it's going to meet a deadlock. to ensure that we go right first time. We have to ensure that we have a right plan in place and how to develop it. Okay, before going to that point, let me introduce who we are. I will give you the introduction of the key profiles who will be working on this project, our experience and strength, our understanding about this business, especially about Songway, and how we go forward meeting the requirements. Okay. The first one, the introduction and the key profiles. There are three profiles which I will come to, but the domains in which we work as this company is business consulting domain in ports and shipping. I will give you a few examples. Dry ports, supply chain management, third-party logistics, that is 3PL, rail terminal and multimodal logistics. What we do in these domains, we develop a detailed project report, DPR. We develop a business plan. We do requirement engineering and we do business modeling. We give an IT solution, requirement engineering for IT solution. We do project management. It's not only developing a concept, but you have to handhold in execution of the project itself. The business excellence. This can be used for the existing business, or as I said, doing right things first time. Create a process in such a way that you do not fail. You are creating the things which are right first time. We can do this by Lean Six Sigma, we can train people on Kaizen, on continuous improvement, or we can bring in total quality management. So these are the areas of our strength in the domains which I said in the last slide. Okay. These are the three key profiles: myself, port shipping, supply chain management, and Lean Six Sigma. We have a very senior colleague from my team. I will walk towards him, Mr. Sudesh Paul. Very few of them reach to that apex body called Railway Board, and he's one among them. But of course, we will come to the introduction. R.R. Pandit, he is the third profile, key profile with us. He is not with us here today because he is traveling in some other country, so he could not make it. But he is committed and dedicated for this project, and he has strength in CFS, ICT, and warehousing design. Okay. So the combination of these three is important, three important pillars for the tripod. And we are the three key profile people here. Of course, we will have a team below us working on this project. I will give a short introduction for every profile because that's too important to understand where these people are coming from. Okay. A small introduction about me. I am an engineer and I am postgraduate from IIT Bombay, which is one of the prestigious institutes in India. I am also the siding inside the powerhouse for two of the super power terminals at Nagpur and Rajasthan. So you can see a wagon tripler here. The design inside the dry port, in fact the rail siding for the powerhouse was done in such a way that you can accommodate tipplers there. Our friends have shown a good video on tippler. Okay. So these are the few projects which can give you the understanding, the strength we come from, whether it is ports or shipping or logistics or dry ports or developing the rail infrastructure. Now we would like to come to the point saying that what is Songway going to do, right? Our understanding. The gateway port is Dar es Salaam. I'm right, sir? The gateway port is Dar es Salaam for Tazara? Yes? Okay. So let's understand this port first. These, whatever you see here has been picked up from the Google, as simple as that. So what we see in Dar es Salaam port, you have 2 kilometers of waterfront, you have 11 berths, you can handle 3.1 million tons of bulk, dry bulk, 6 million tons of liquid bulk, and 1 million tons of container cargo, which translates into 50,000 20-foot equivalent units, TUs. So this gives us a rough idea about if you need to decongest the port, what are you going to do at dry port? This also gives us the idea if we need a different combination of those 17 wagons, what are we going to plan, which wagons and how many? If we are going to talk about the locomotives, we have to understand this plan first. What is the need? And if we have to talk about the way bridges, we also need to understand what is the cargo that comes from the way bridges. So I think so this is our focus point, because the whole idea is to decongest the port at the first place. Right? So knowing this, we come here because we are going to work hand in hand with Tazara. And that's the focus point for us now. Right from the date when you people laid your stone, till the time you have this beautiful building where we took our sumptuous lunch, I think so it has been almost 50 years of struggle. Right, sir? Can we clap for you? It's a big journey, very big journey. What it is, please correct us. This is the layout of Tazara, right, sir? And if I have some bullet statistics with me, 1860 kilometers, the total rail distance. Capacity as per design 5 million metric ton per annum. I also see 2 terminals being operated by Tazara, Kasama and Makambako. Is it right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And we have one more private terminal, and that is at Kedapu. Right? Okay. This is something which comes from the internet. And now we are talking about having a dry port at Songway. Okay. Let's go to Songway. It is somewhere here. How do you spell it, sir? Here. No, this is the location. Here. Right? Okay. And the actual site will be at Songway. Right? This is the site which we are talking about. Why are we talking about this site? Okay, we have 400 hectares of land which we assume of a very flat terrain available with us, just 4 kilometers away from the Tazara rail line, right? And 3 kilometers from Tazara rail line and 4 kilometers from the highway. Just 40 kilometers from boundary of Zambia and 50 kilometers from Malawi. A very, very strategic location which has been chosen for the dry port, which can cater to 5 countries. Okay. And what we do there? There are certain inputs which have come in. I have presented the inputs as it is. Of course, there may be a lot of changes which may come in. We are focusing that this area of 400 hectares, in terms of cargo operation, these countries will require almost this much area. So Zambia may require 50 hectares, Malawi may require 20 hectares, Congo may require 50 hectares, Zimbabwe may require 10 hectares, local freight of Tanzania may require 50 hectares, and you may require a container repair yard around 20 hectares, roughly, for cargo operation. Okay, you need lot of things on support. You have administrative offices, 30 hectares, training center and hostels, 20 hectares, social and sports, 100 hectares, STP, 30 hectares, waste disposal, 5 hectares, a provision for electricity in case we don't get it. Right? A support system for operations. Okay. Having said this, this is the high level information available with us. How we go forward with this information. What are we supposed to do? What is the next step for us? Okay. Let's see. We need to go back and do the market survey. It is essential to reaffirm on what can be made available to this dry port. Not today, but we need a proper scalability in the plan in such a way that the master plan is prepared based on the scalable model. Today, the whole idea is to decongest Dar es Salaam port. And I'm very sure with this dry port coming up, without addition of any infrastructure in the port, the capacity of the port will go up. As soon as the port capacity goes up without adding the infrastructure, you will have more cargo. What is that? That's going to add into your dry port. It's not what is being handled today at Dar es Salaam. So we need a scalability model, a master plan which keeps on taking care of all these things. So market survey means we go to Dar es Salaam port, we go to the shipping lines, we go to the cargo owners, we go to every country, understand what they can import and export, and again go back to people who will support me for the wagons, because this is all related to requirement engineering. Then we drill down on the paper and say, yes, this is what we want today, this is what we want after 5 years, and this possibly we will need after 10 years. The requirement engineering can be reached in that way. And this brings us to the concept model. Then that's the real sketch in our head, saying that yes, this is what we want. With this concept model, we come again back to you, saying that this is right. Once you affirm, I have my master plan ready. Right? That makes sense? And unless and until I have a master plan, I cannot call it as a detailed project report. At the end of the day, everyone here is to make money. What's the bottom line? Right. Yes, services, efficiency, we have to bring in. We have to reduce the cost. But at the end of the day, everyone has to make money. And that's what comes out from the detailed project report. So these are the various stages where Zenith would like to go. However, in case we have some inputs already there ahead, that can be a shortcut. But if required, we have to again go and do the due diligence on it before we really put into the detail. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. The model is accepted. The funding is done. One who has resigned also needs to hand over to the project manager. You have to see that whatever you dreamt about is up and running in the way you have dreamt about. That's good. So this is the way forward. These are the various steps. I see a lot of time, lot of engagement which goes into it, and this is the best.
Sudesh, congratulations.
Thank you.
You win.
Yes, thank you so much.
No problem.
No question asked. No question. Okay. So shall I go ahead with the operating presentation?
Precisely, yes. Precisely.
The director of the company and Mr. Pradeep Jha, the second director of the company, and I am the third director of the company. We are the three directors running this company called Team Logistics and Management. A brief introduction of this company. Okay, the welcome is dancing in front of you. Welcome you all. I think so. The first presentation was good enough to excite you people, right? Thank you. Okay. So this is how we go. Let's understand what this company is, what is our strength, what have we done, our throughput and benchmarks, who are our valued customers. The idea is to tell you why we are here. Okay. We had a parent company by the name Kailash Bulk, which has over 2 decades of experience, especially working in Gujarat state of India. Gujarat is one of the most vibrant states of India in ports and shipping. And therefore, this company was formed there more than 20 years back, doing the skip loading and terminal handling operation for Kandla Port and Pipavav Port, and subsequently into other ports of Gujarat. This company was formed in February 2012 when I got inducted with this parent company of Kailash. I got out from the APM terminals and we formed this company. Team Logistics, 2012, almost a 5 years old company. The whole idea of forming this company was, like Joseph, to get into the dry port, become a terminal operator. Right? So we identified few projects and we got into it. I will explain you that. Okay. This is our headquarters, which is at Baroda, a central place of Gujarat. Let's understand our strength. We are into ship-to-shore operation. We do loading, we do discharging, as simple as that, irrespective of the commodity. Dry bulk, freight bulk, containers. Okay. This is a port where the parent company is doing the integrated operation, APM terminals, paper out, unloading dry bulk from the ships, transporting them to the warehouse, converting the dry bulk into the standardized bags through bagging machines, and then loading the bags into the wagons, either by wagon loaders or delivering them to the road trucks. It's a complete integrated operation which our company does in APM terminals. This is the dry port where this company, Team Logistics, our company, has put in money to develop the dry port. Kripko is a fertilizer company, I said, in Surat, Hazira, in Gujarat, where they were having a yard for handling their fertilizer. We used that yard for converting that into a dry port to handle third-party cargo. As I said, we have 3 sidings there, one for handling container and steel, one with the warehouse to handle bag cargo, and one with the in-motion weighbridge to handle coal. Incidentally, we have SA Digitronics there as the in-motion weighbridge. This is the layout which you people saw in our last slide as well, in last presentation. This is the second terminal dry port in India, which is in the very central place of India called Madhya Pradesh in Italy. Very specific to this dry port is, they know that they will handle only bag cargo, predominantly bag cargo. So they have fertilizer, they have soya, they have wheat, and therefore what they did was, they developed the infrastructure in such a way that you have warehouse throughout the length of the rail, so that you have efficient operations. This is again one of the best model I have seen in dry ports, because if this is the main line, you have a branching coming out from the main line inside the dry port, and you have another side which can go out. So you don't need an escape line for the locomotives, right? You can also come in from the other side and go out. So you can see the sheds which are throughout the length of the rail, and then you have other facilities inside the dry port. One of the best model I have seen, and we are operating this in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. As I said, we convert dry bulk into bagging by using bagging machines. We load them. These bagging machines are parallel to the rail, and bagging machines are attached with the loaders, so you can.
Thank you very much for this presentation. And maybe the questions about the set.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. The presenter, thank you, presenter for a good presentation, good presentation. The first presentation was not that there is no question. Only we waited for the yes to finish the second one and then we can ask yes. Presentation. The first one, we need space clarification. We have been trying to do this dry port in the Malawi Cargo Center, but we encountered some challenges which maybe can also exist to solve the problem. One of the challenges which we faced there is we even discussed with the stakeholders, especially the AIM, and they were complaining about the double handling. You know, the idea is good that we are trying to make service near to the border, landlocked country. But now, since I want to do this up to their destination, actually, maybe Kabini, or the other side, or Congo. But now, when we are planning this one to reach to Songwe, meaning you offload, you store, there are some costs which will be incurred there, which means that the importer will pay more money than what we load directly from here to Zambia and Congo. Now, I don't know how are we going to convince the importer, because the aim of this operation is to minimize cost for importer. If the cost for importer is going to be higher, definitely they will not be impressed to use the ports. They might look at the other port like Beira and the Durban. So my question is, how are you going to make sure that these costs are going to be reduced instead of increasing the cost for a double handling operation at Songwe?
If I have understood you right, let me put it in two ways. Number one is, as we said at last, we have to do the market survey, right? And when we do the market survey, we engage the stakeholders. We understand their requirements. There is a high possibility that when you add cargo to the rail, and if you have a nearby option, then yes, the double handling and the rail freight may cost them more. But on the other side, in case he's moving the volume of cargo instead of road to rail, if he reduces the number of truck transactions because he's now loading into volume, number one. Number two, the wait time at the port can be reduced because now the train is going directly to the port instead of trucks moving to the port and have a huge queue and waiting time at the port. If they calculate in that way, there will be a lot of benefits that the customer or the end cargo user can get. However, if they have other facility which is nearby, right, and they can use it, they will definitely like to take that facility. At the end of the day, the total logistic cost has to be low. There is no brainer. For every cargo user, if at all he saves even $0.50 per ton, he will definitely not come to us. So our design has to be such that we know these are the cargo users who will land into our dry port, number one. Number two, we can attract the people who are presently even not coming to Dar es Salaam because they don't have this type of service and facility. In fact, there is a possibility there are many customers who are missing on Dar es Salaam port because this facilities. It's otherwise. So unless and until we go back and explain them and make a calculation for them, they will not realize the benefits of it. Merely assuming that it is a double handling is going to put them into a false paradise. Right? So it can happen that instead of single handling, because they are using the dry port, they have to do double handling. They have to drop the cargo here and some other agencies again handling the cargo. But at the end of the day, if they calculate end-to-end logistic cost with using dry port and without using dry port, that's the exact calculation which those people then realize. There has to be the proper number and the distances and the freight which has to be calculated out. I mean to say dry port is a no-brainer concept, as simple as that. Everyone benefits from the dry port. It's a win-win solution. But the question is, if you have 3 dry ports serving the same gateway port, yes, it's a clear demarcation of geography. Simple. It's a logistic cost. Of course, the service. If you have other 2 dry ports who cannot give service, then they are definitely out of the business. I do not know if I have answered you right, or maybe.
Partly yes, because what I'm looking for is like, I'm an importer.
Yes.
Me, I know that my consignment is from Europe, and I want to come direct from Europe to dry port, then from there is direct to my home. Now, this dry port which we are now planning to store at Tazara. First of all, the car will come up to that landlord, offload, put it there, move to dry port in there. But the client, because we are moving with the train from here, because we've already loaded the train now, and my train, or your train, is moving up to, actually, where we are ending. Why should we stop at the dry port where we are sending in there, instead of moving up to Kabir direct?
So, yeah, please.
Ultimately, let me address the good question from Tazara management. Let me rest you assured, Masindiko company is ready at all levels to reduce the cost of these 3 or 4 landlord countries on the cost they are suffering of their freight, or rather I should say the transit. Not only landlord countries, even Tanzania freight. How and the logistics is why we are setting the dry port at Songo. There will be, during the discussion, the authority of the freight which will be designated as DRC, Malawi, Zambia, as I said earlier, they will be cleared from the dry port at Songo. There will be one clearing point at Songo. At Songo dry port, there will be all the facilities which are available at the Darshan port. You know very well how much it costs to transport at least 20 tons by road from here to DRC, to Malawi, to Zambia as well. Our vision and mission is to see that all this freight of the landlord countries, they will be no longer cleared at the Darshan port. They will be straight away at the border of the dry port. Automatically, it will reduce the cost of freight, which they experience now through by road. A very simple calculation. One lorry, if we go to the true axle load of our road, is 20 tons. So 30 tons including the load. But one wagon train can take up 55 or 60 tons. Compare the freight you are carried by rail and compared by road. You are taking $5,000 US of 30 tons to DRC. Leave alone the time you are spending on the road. But for the same wagon, will reach to the destination, let's say by about 4,000 or 3,500 US. You are paying more 20 tons. The customers or the cargo owner will benefit. We had a good discussion during the visit of the President of DRC. The chief executive was here, and some of, I think one of the members here, I cannot see me here. We talk about this scenario. They are very happy. Not only DRC, Malawi, and good enough, the Zambia High Commission as well. So with this kind of discussion, Tanzanian government will definitely come up with the gazette how this logistic